The post-pandemic world normalized digital education, changing how we decide to invest our time and energy in learning. We often frame the debate around which system offers higher quality information. But since the same facts are now available in both environments, that question is becoming less relevant. Global digital platforms and artificial intelligence have commoditized access to raw data. You can find world-class expertise and comprehensive curriculums online, often at little to no cost. This shift moves the focus toward a central negotiation between individual autonomy and external structural accountability. Finding a successful path requires identifying your personal behavioral friction and selecting the environment specifically designed to manage it. Choosing the right model involves weighing two opposing forces: the need for rigid structure versus the need for ultimate flexibility. This matrix plots accountability against structure to show how different environments interact with your habits. Where you fall on these axes determines which system will support your progress. The top left quadrant represents traditional in-person environments. These systems provide external accountability through mandatory attendance and fixed deadlines that keep you on schedule. The bottom right quadrant represents pure online learning. This offers the flexibility to design your own day, but it places the entire burden of progress on your own self-discipline. Identifying where your habits land on this grid helps you avoid committing to a learning style that clashes with your actual behavior. In a pure online environment, you take full responsibility for designing your schedule and managing asynchronous material. The primary benefit is speed control. You move through information at a personalized pace, pausing and reviewing difficult concepts as many times as necessary to reach mastery. You commit to a fixed, location-dependent schedule in exchange for a guided learning experience. The value here is built-in accountability. Teachers and peers provide the social pressure and reminders needed to meet deadlines and maintain a steady pace. Physical classrooms also foster skills that are difficult to digitize. These soft skills often become more valuable than the academic curriculum itself. This list represents the classroom moat. Physical proximity forces the development of teamwork, organic networking, and interpersonal communication that screens can't easily replicate. The major downside is a lack of efficiency. A fixed pace can hold back students who understand a topic quickly, while leaving behind those who need more time. Traditional schools trade individual learning speed for social conditioning and the external structure required to keep a group moving forward. We should also distinguish between the role of educational software and the presence of a human educator. Artificial intelligence handles the distribution of raw information and the explanation of complex concepts at a scale humans cannot match. Human teachers, however, are equipped to read a student's frustration and provide encouragement during moments of doubt. While software processes data inputs, only human mentors can interpret emotional context and guide a student's personal growth. Technology scales the access to knowledge, while human teachers provide the emotional resilience needed to master it. The goal is not to find a perfect system, but to match the learning environment to your current lifestyle and specific constraints. This decision tree helps choose based on your primary bottleneck, schedule restrictions, or focus. Time-poor optimizers follow the left branch to online learning, building their own accountability. Developmental learners follow the right branch to a traditional classroom, prioritizing human interaction and networking over lecture speed. Matching the system's specific demands to your own behavioral habits offers a practical way to choose the right path. There is a third option for those looking to maximize their educational return: the hybrid approach. In a hybrid model, you delegate standard information consumption to digital platforms, where you can control the pace and review material at will. This split reserves physical attendance for high-value interactions. You use the classroom for seminars, debates, and labs, where being in the room adds clear value. This requires more logistical planning. You have to find institutions that support this model and manage two different learning modes simultaneously. The future of education relies on the strategic integration of digital efficiency and physical collaboration to serve the learner. Today, you can pull out a laptop, connect to Wi-Fi, and learn almost anything from anywhere on Earth. It offers the promise of ultimate convenience and complete location independence. Compare that digital freedom to the physical classroom setting, a rigid environment that has dominated human education for centuries. If you choose the wrong environment for your specific needs, You waste tuition money, squander hundreds of hours, and stall your own personal growth. Finding the right path comes down to a concept called learning environment fit, the principle that success depends entirely on matching the system directly to the student. Arguing over whether online or traditional schooling is universally better is an illusion. Success relies solely on your psychological readiness and your specific life goals. This chart shows the two primary metrics we have to use to evaluate educational needs: the demand for structural oversight on the bottom versus the demand for schedule flexibility on the side. First, we have the time-poor optimizer. This represents working adults who require extreme schedule control to fit learning into their busy lives. On the opposite end is the development-focused traditionalist. These are younger students who rely heavily on holistic socialization and strict behavioral conditioning. The danger zone lies right here. This represents learners who demand complete flexibility but actually lack the discipline to handle it, setting themselves up for failure in a digital vacuum. Pinpointing exactly where you or your child falls on this grid is the mandatory first step before weighing any specific trade-offs. Online learning's primary feature is complete independence over both your daily scheduling and your physical location. The immediate benefit of this independence is the ability to learn at a highly individualized pace. If you miss a concept, you can simply pause, rewind, and watch the lesson again. But removing all environmental friction requires a heavy psychological trade-off. The learner must possess immense self-regulation to maintain forward momentum. Without a physical teacher in the room or a bell schedule dictating your day, online learners are exceptionally vulnerable to procrastination. A digital environment is filled with immediate distractions. You are always exactly one click away from leaving an academic lecture to check social media. In this digital vacuum, the entire burden of enforcing deadlines and maintaining focus shifts completely onto your internal willpower. Absolute flexibility is a trap for anyone lacking strict internal discipline. It turns the freedom to learn into the freedom to delay. The online education boom also provides instant access to global experts, professors, and thousands of free digital courses from anywhere. This democratizes academic knowledge. A student in India can take a course taught by a professor in another country, bypassing local geographic and financial limitations entirely. The severe trade-off required for this kind of scale is the total sacrifice of a physical educator's personalized encouragement and emotional intuition. Computer screens and artificial intelligence algorithms cannot read your micro-expressions of frustration or confusion when you are struggling to grasp a concept. Technology is an incredibly efficient delivery mechanism for raw data, but it fails to provide the emotional safety net you need when the learning process gets difficult. Traditional schooling operates on mandatory physical attendance and rigid, standardized daily timetables. This structure enforces a reliable routine. It guarantees that deadlines are met and specific subjects are forcefully covered. The physical reality of the traditional school environment acts as a forced, continuous socializing mechanism for young, developing minds. This environment provides irreplaceable behavioral benefits. It forces the interpersonal interactions necessary to build essential soft skills, teamwork, and conflict resolution. The massive structural trade-off for this model is its extraordinary inefficiency. You lose hours commuting every week and are locked into inflexible time blocks. The one-size-fits-all pacing required by a physical classroom actively punishes students, leaving fast learners bored and slow learners struggling behind. Traditional schools are masterclasses in human behavioral conditioning, but they are highly inefficient, restrictive mechanisms for pure academic acceleration. This flowchart helps you determine exactly which educational system serves your current life stage, starting with the question, what is your primary limiting factor? If you are heavily constrained by geographic location or strict professional working hours, your route leads directly to online learning. If you easily lose focus, or if you are a parent prioritizing holistic personal and emotional growth, you route to traditional school. If you are seeking to maximize both rapid academic ingestion and collaborative interpersonal development, you route to the hybrid model. Brutal self-awareness is the prerequisite for success. You must audit your own disciplinary habits before investing in any educational platform. The hybrid strategy relies on asynchronous decoupling, the strategic practice of completely separating how we absorb information from where we apply it. You use asynchronous online modules specifically for individualized academic review. This allows for highly personalized pacing without any peer pressure. Independent digital work is used strictly to optimize your focus during complex information ingestion and personal academic review. You then reserve the physical classroom strictly for live discussions, team projects, and behavioral development exercises. In-person physical environments carry immense collaborative power. This is where students can actively debate, point out flaws, and construct ideas together. Let digital machines deliver the raw data at scale. Rely on human environments to provide the discipline, context, and emotional intelligence required to actually wield that knowledge.